Hello gardeners, December has arrived, bringing a fresh set of garden tasks, some to help your garden survive winter and others to get ready for the upcoming spring season. Today I'm excited to share my top 10 garden task tips and reminders for December to keep your garden thriving and on track as we progress through the season. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Jara and this is Teddy. I've been gardening all of my life and I'm a professional seed and plant nursery. I love to share my knowledge and teach others how to garden and grow food. So you've come to the right place if you want to improve your gardening skills. And if you have not watched it already, go check out my huge garden guide for the month of December. That video went live last week and lists 30 veggie ideas that can be planted right now. All right, let's dive into these essential garden tasks and reminders that need to be completed in the month of December. My first task is the one that I'm the most excited about, and that's seed shopping for the upcoming year. All the major seed catalogs usually release their new items for the new year around this time. I have released a bunch of new seeds and plants on my website in anticipation of the new year as well. It's fun to start deciding on what unique things you're going to try growing this year. I highly recommend, if there is something you absolutely want to grow next year, that you place your seed orders now before the spring gardening rush arrives, when the majority of the country is buying up seeds and they sell out. Trust me, I can't tell you how many times I was eyeing a seed packet and then it sold out. Next, I would take some time out to review what was successful and what was a failure in your garden over the past year. What grew well for you? What failed terribly? How do you fix the things that failed? What things do you want to repeat next year? Maybe there are some issues with your garden setup that need to be resolved. Reflection is critical so you continuously improve, but more importantly, don't make the same mistakes. I have a garden journal for each year and take notes as the season progresses of all these types of things. And then in December, I sit down and read all the notes so I kind of refresh my mind about what happened. The next task I have for you all is super important. The majority of us, including myself here in Orlando, Florida, Zone 10A, have either received some cold fronts or will be getting them this month in December. Every time a cold front moves through, assess the damage and notate. I notate in my garden journal which plants got some cold damage, no cold damage, or just totally killed. That way you start recognizing what plants or veggies will survive your winter without cover. I don't know about you, but I absolutely hate covering plants to protect them from the cold. It's a lot of work and stress, so instead I just don't plant things that will get severely cold damage or just die by the amount of cold I receive in my area during the winter. This is to minimize how much I have to cover up. I have learned that tomatoes, for example, get cold damaged when things drop below around 35 degrees Fahrenheit, so I will put in the effort to cover them if it's expected to get that cold. And yes, I'm growing and harvesting tomatoes in the middle of winter, which is why I'll never leave Florida. I can garden year-round. I have noticed that some of my tropical fruit trees, like my Cary mango, that just so happens to start flowering in the middle of winter, also need to be covered when things fall below around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. If not, the flowers die and then I get no fruit that year. Other things like broccoli, spinach, and cabbage are just fine. I take this all into consideration when I start planting my winter garden. Plant more of the stuff that will tolerate the cold, so I spend less time and effort having to cover things up. Those of you in much colder climates kind of have no choice. You either cover everything or they die, or you can continue growing in a greenhouse. But even still, you need to start learning the coldest temperature each crop can endure. Super important, so take notes. December is also a great time to start planning the layout of your garden for the upcoming year. Where are you going to place crops? Are you going to build more garden beds or vertical structures? I'm in process of making a YouTube video showing how I build raised garden beds and vertical trellis systems using as few tools and cuts as possible, so more to come. I like to make a map of my entire garden using graphing paper. Each square represents 1 square foot, so it all aligns pretty perfectly with square foot gardening guidelines. Drawing a map really helps me visualize the garden and also figure out how many of each plant I need to start from seed. I also draw in where all my fruit trees are so I can figure out how to squeeze more in. Trust me, you can grow a ton of fruit trees very close together if you choose dwarf self-fertile varieties, meaning you only need 1 tree to produce fruit. A lot of my fruit trees are just 6 to 8 feet apart and provide plenty of production for my household needs. Speaking of starting plants, December is the beginning of indoor seed sowing, so you can grow your own transplants for a lot of crops if your last spring frost date falls in January, February, or March. Some crops like peppers and eggplants take about 3 months to get to size from seed, so you would be starting them right now. Others like tomatoes and squash take around 6 to 8 weeks if grown in ideal conditions. Things like lettuce, flowers, and herbs can take 4 to 6 weeks. So gather all your seed sowing supplies and get started in December. I have a mini greenhouse that I attach grow lights to the shelves with some zip ties and easily fit it into a back corner of my house for a few weeks. If you absolutely do not have space to sow seeds indoors, you can put a mini greenhouse outside aside and place a bunch of heat mats on the bottom shelf to warm up the entire thing once you zip it shut. Do not sow seeds outdoors if it's cold. A lot of people ask me how I stay on track and don't forget to sow seeds for something. In December, I will gather all the seeds for everything that I want to grow in the upcoming year. I separate the seed packs into piles, one for each month, according to when that particular seed needs to be sown. So for example, I like to direct sow seeds for cucumbers as soon as my last spring frost date passes in February. So I will put cucumber seeds in a bag labeled as February. I like to sow my fall and winter tomatoes in July. So I decide which tomatoes I want to grow for the upcoming fall season and put all those seeds in my July bag. I do this for all the crops and things I want to grow, and I end up with a bag for each month, or basically my entire year of seed sowing is planned out. December is the coldest month in the year, and many of you start getting some hard freezes or prolonged temperatures at 28 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Water freezes at 32 degrees, so the water content inside of your plants, leaves, and stems will freeze or turn into ice, which is what causes cold damage. Lots of plants will recover from cold damage as long as the root system is okay. However, hard freezes mean the ground will also freeze and therefore kill the root system. It is super important to heavily mulch the base of your perennial edibles like fruit trees and plants to ensure they survive the winter. If you can take cuttings of your favorite plants and root them indoors just in case they die outside. If your ground is going to freeze, then you also need to harvest out any root crops still in the ground. Store them in a cool, dry, dark place so they last for many months. I really like to use these stackable wire baskets that I get from Amazon to store my root crops and even other veggies like squash and onions because they have excellent air circulation, which keeps everything dry to prevent mold or rotting. I'll link these baskets in the description below. And another tip with root crops, don't wash them after you harvest because that will introduce more moisture. Instead, gently brush off the excess soil and just store it away. They will last much longer this way. Just wash them before you're going to eat or cook with them. If your ground is workable, December is a great time to add amendments to the soil because they take many weeks or even months to break down. Adding them now will give them time to incorporate into your soil so it's ready to be planted by springtime. If you're not sure what amendments to add, then contact your local county extension office because they do some pretty inexpensive soil testing, or you can get a soil test kit online. I'll link in the description to the one I've used. The results will say what amendments are needed and how much to add so you amend properly. My last task for December is to support wildlife, specifically the 3 B's, birds, butterflies, and bees during the winter when there is not much food out there for them to forage on. For birds, install feeders, hang suet from trees, add bird houses, and water features. Birds eat an enormous amount of pests, so it's a good idea to track them into your garden. Butterflies can be supported by planting as many large and flat flowers as possible. These serve as easy nectar sources for adult butterflies. My personal favorites include Tithonia, zinnias, and liatris. And don't forget to support the bees. Wintertime is especially hard for them because they can't find much blooming to get pollen or nectar from. Bees really go crazy over African blue basil, agastache, any kind of salvia, and sunflowers. Having a wide variety of different flowers is important because each bee species prefers different kinds of flowers. Attract them into the garden now so they are frequenting your garden in the springtime to help pollinate all of your crops. And I have a bonus tip for my gardeners located in the southern parts of the United States, zones 8 and up. Just a reminder, December is pretty much your last chance to hurry up and plant quite a few major crop categories. The first category are bulbing onions. I absolutely love to grow my own onions, so right now I am trying to transplant as many of them as possible. This year I tried something new and I did acquire 2 different varieties of like bundles of live onion transplants, so if you need some, go check out my website. Also, December's the last chance for hot climate gardeners to hurry up and plant your seed garlic if you haven't done so already. And it's also your last chance to plant strawberries from bare roots and your seed potato. The reason why you want to hurry up and get all of these in the ground right now is because they really grow best during the colder parts of the year. So you just want to plant them all now so they have time to grow and you harvest them out before things really start to get really hot and crazy during the summer. All right, that wraps up my top 10 garden task tips and reminders for December. By staying on top of these tasks, you'll keep your garden healthy, productive, and thriving. I recommend checking out this video next where I cover 30 different types of veggies and crops that you should be planting right now in December. Thank you for watching and happy gardening.